Is on my end. Anyways.
Okay. Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome in to the Dark Radio Network Project. Here live on YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and more. Get dark with us. Come on in. Let's talk some shit. All right. So, Rosa, why don't you
Yo,
introduce yourself to YouTube viewers and we'll let them know what we're all about for this evening for a little bit.
Slow
Okay.
down. I'm still trying to find us to share us.
Oh, that's okay. As long as we're live, we're live.
I don't know.
Um,
Are we live?
Canada's occult specialist.
There you go. There you go. So,
Well, I am a Canada's occult specialist.
we didn't talk about enough stuff when we did our last show, though, and we left a lot of highs and lows on, and that wasn't bad. It was a great time. It was very informative.
You're
However,
not finding us, Michael.
I'm sorry.
I'm not finding us.
Oh, we should be there. Anyway, here I can look at something real quick. Yep, we're live.
Great. Are you having issues too?
No, we're not having issues.
Oh,
There's
come
no-
on. I
There's no
swear.
There's no issues. There's no issues. But welcome into Studio 10. I am Michael Anthony. And the young lady in the middle, if you want to call her that, is Beth McCord. And the young lady to your far, whatever side it is that you're seeing her, is
Right.
Rosalind. And she does medium work, house cleansings. She's an advisory. She's a specialist in the occult and to help people. And so we're kind of dark here at the Dark Radio Network Project. You never know. It could be Bigfoot. It could be UFOs, astro projecting, dream state, the pyramids, the outer limits. We're going to deliver it here for you, and we're going to enjoy it and have fun.
Right now, I think it's aliens.
Right now, we're what?
Right now, I think it's aliens.
Oh, well, it's aliens are everywhere. If that's what you said, you are crackling a little bit. So let me do something here.
Like if you're seeing it, share it with me. I can't find it.
I didn't look for it. Okay. Let me see if I can get the Grandmaster. While we're trying to figure, actually, we're kind of testing. This is like a little promo preview of a show that's coming on, and we're some of the people that are going to be in the background, and there'll be other guests and other people joining in. And in case you're wondering, will we do open lines? We will. So it's going to be kind of a different format. You'll be able to call in, share your story. If you have a story, I do want to hear from you. So as we're going through this test, we're going to have some fun and we'll get out some information. Right now, we're just trying to stream and share it to learn the different platform of the new processor that we're using because it's a little bit too complicated for me. So we got 3 of us here working on it, and that's what we're doing right now. So anyway, nobody's joining in the room, so I'm just going to say
we're find us, so nobody knows we're on.
Well, if you're on Facebook, it's not going to show up there.
I'm on YouTube, and I can't bring you up. That's what I'm telling you.
Can't you
maybe
go in?
the mic way over here? Is that better?
I have 2 10 o'clock talks, and I can bring them both up, and I can't find where we're all live right now.
Okay,
really
is that any better in hearing me?
In and out.
I can hear you. You're fine.
Are you sure?
No, that was clear.
Oh my God.
Well, that's why this is a test. And if anybody wants to see what we did and how, you know what? It's all good. We'll get clarity to it. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can get somebody. David, do me a favor and see if you can find the live on YouTube streaming. Just tell me if you can find it. Yeah, I would think you would just type it in 10 o'clock talks and
I have you set up on my phone, Michael. You're the top 2. You can't see it. but you're the top two on my phone, and I can press both of them, and I can't find us.
That is very weird because I know I'm streaming live. I wonder if for some reason it streamed us to Facebook. Hold on a second.
Did it stream us to Facebook?
I don't know. It shouldn't have.
Shouldn't have.
But let me look just for the heck of it.
There's Michael.
You
no.
should see all three of us.
On your page is you, Rosalind, and Dave Parker is the last post on your page.
Yeah, because they started to let me put stuff back up, and then it went back out.
Here's 10 o'clock studio broadcasting. I shared a post 2 hours ago.
All right, let me see if anything came up this way. Nope, we got almost 700 shares from the other night with me and Rosa. Oh, I apologize to Dave Parker, the infamous Dave Parker, the one who lives amongst Bigfoot. And there is nobody else out there. Nobody else out there in the United States that can make that claim and have proof as he has with pictures and more. And anyway, I had to apologize to him. I really felt like I left him out a little bit. We got so intensely talking on things. And I know he's kind of like, the Ed of my McMahon in a certain way. But he has so much information. And, we'll make corrections as we go. No, so Beth, in telling you what I just said, no, I'm not seeing anything.
So it's not me. Thank you.
No, and I don't understand why we're not streaming there. Anyway, Dave is going to look to help out. And Nancy Vincent just sent a something. I don't know. Is she trying to pick up Facebook or does she know?
She doesn't know you're on. She has no idea.
I know it says we're live, but like.
Yeah, it says we're live 7 minutes, 8 seconds. But
yeah, live to where?
YouTube.
I'm on YouTube.
And I keep just saying, that's what I know what you guys know. And, the other thing about this, too, it's deletable, so I'm not really worried about it. But I really was hoping to see the interaction come through directly across, and we're not. And that's disheartening because everything here shows correct. It says we are streaming. It's giving me a time pattern that we're running. All of us are engaged. One is smoking. The miracle smoke.
I'm telling you. It's live broadcasting the aliens.
Yeah. I've done YouTube before, and I've never ran into this complication. But again, I didn't use StreamYard. So I do know it works. However, go ahead.
I've used this tablet many of times on radio blogs and was able to access the mic and open everything, but holy flip, it would not let me access the mic. It wouldn't let me access the mic, and then it kicked me out. And wow.
Yeah, well, wow. Beth goes through that still. She bought a new computer just so it would work for her, and it did work. But on her phone and her other stuff, she could never come through to join in. Occasionally, she would only have audio but no video, and it worked, but it wasn't the mission, so to speak. So, yeah, I don't know if it's the way that their technology, like I said, when is it too much? Why don't they just stop when everything's working? Apparently, you can make things better if you just work with what's already working, but they take it into hey, you got to upgrade every 6 months with something new or it's not going to work. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, very much. I mean, that's what it is, though. You get a brand new computer in about a year's time, it's no good. You got to go get another one. You know what I mean?
The one that I had to replace was a year old.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how they make money off you. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That's bizarre.
These old tablets I'm working off of, they only last about, I've been told they only last 15 years, 5 years at the most. If you get a good one.
You guys can keep yourself company for a minute. The
Yep.
sexy old guy's gonna run up and get one of these.
Okay.
He needs it so he doesn't fall asleep.
I'm old. Leave that fucking out of the scenario here.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist, Michael.
Oh my God.
I'm allowed to pick on him. He picks on me all the time.
His phone butt called me this morning.
I doubt that.
I don't know why his phone decided to butt call me, but it butt called me. Good thing it did, though. It woke me up. Like, and then when I got up, there was like a raging snowstorm, and I'm like, really?
So it's cold up there.
Oh, here in Canada? Oh, flipping right. Like, we're in winter season right now.
So that's where you grew up and where you've always been from?
Yep. Yeah.
Nice. Beautiful there.
Yeah. I mean, we got our 4 seasons, we got our fall and our spring and our winter and our summer, but winter time's harsh. It is. And I live on an island, so it's even worse. Like, it's really bitter cold because we're surrounded by the water.
Okay.
So here you could wake up, it'd be fine the night before, and you could wake up to raging winds here on the island. This morning, that's what I woke up to. Raging winds, snow everywhere. Like, it was bad, right? And then by like dinner time, it cleared right off. And I was like, what the hell? I don't even think it was predicted for the island, to be honest with you. It was just one of those spur of the moment things.
Pennsylvania, we can have all 4 seasons in one day.
Well, you guys are on the same, I think, weather belt is what we are. So anything you guys.
Well, Michael's on the river. I don't have it near me.
Oh, okay. But I know that you guys, like, whatever you guys get comes our way is through like this belt over the waters. You know what I mean? But like, you guys have a hurricane, right? Then we get the tail end of your hurricanes.
Yeah.
Like that. But the South sends the hurricanes because it starts out in the South and then it makes its way up. By the time it hits you guys, it's downgraded. By the time it hits us, it's like down to nothing. You know what I mean?
It's just
like
lots of rain.
Yeah, pretty much. But then that floods my basement. I hate that. Oh. No,
my dogs are asleep or Michael would be killing me. I'd be muting us. I have 3 huskies and they like to bark. And Michael gets mad at me.
I love
barking.
Love huskies. Gorgeous dog.
Lots of fur.
Yeah. Oh, I get a cat.
Oh, I got 2 of them too. We went to see the Genesis concert last night, and my son came and picked me up, and we went to my daughter's house. And her and her boyfriend are trying to do a Christmas picture with all 4 of their cats in the picture. That was hysterical. They're trying to grab cats and hold them in their laps to get pictures. So they posted something silly this morning, and I said, we really need to do a post with all of our animals in. My 3 huskies, my son's 2 huskies, so 5 huskies, and how many cats? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cats and 5 huskies, and the 4 of us, 6 of us.
Wow.
And I said that would be a unique family picture.
That would be cool.
I'm going to show you something since he's perched here on the back of my couch. This is Michael. This is my Michael.
Oh, look at you. Weird. Oh, so cute. I had a black cat. Her name was Omen, but she died here recently, about a month ago. She had heart disease, and we didn't know it. And she was too far in stage. So,
come here, Michael.
Something's been shared to you, Beth.
Somebody wanted to say hello to you.
Oh my God, it's black cat. Listen, we are on Facebook. We are on Facebook.
Are we on Facebook?
Around me. So
yes, we are streaming. Hi, Michael. No, but we are streaming to all of them.
Well, you're going to have to send me the link because I can't share it if I can't find it.
It is already in the news feed. If you just let me talk,
thank you.
I could give you what's going on. Okay. Engineering has telepathically
Dave.
told me that it's out there, and you should see it on the news feed, Beth. So why don't you check there, and then maybe we can, say hello to everybody again. Because honestly, it
figure this
must have
out,
taken
so-
5 minutes for it to get downstreamed.
Huh.
We're that far behind.
But I thought we were going YouTube. How did we get Facebook?
Because I have lands to go and cross. There's
Oh.
going to be a very large scenario of hits.
Okay.
Everything. What we're trying to do is figure out the time in between. I have other people working on this. That's why this has happened, and it wasn't Dave Glovin. I don't know what Dave. I don't know. Dave had a grandbaby yesterday, so they're doing things. He just got back to me now and says, I looked a few minutes ago on STB to see if it went live. I couldn't find it. Let me look again. David, check newsfeed. I'm being told it's there. And we're outsourcing on, I think, 5 platforms right now.
Well, what am I doing wrong that I can't find it?
I don't know. If you look at Messenger, at the top of Messenger, sometimes it tells you there's something going on live with one of your friends. I don't know how upgraded your computer is, but I know my one up in my.
If I try to do it on the computer, I'm probably going to bleed us out.
Well, the thing is this: we're here. This is part of the Dark Radio Network project, and I'm Michael Anthony. Everybody knows me, I hope. If you don't, that's who I am. In the middle is Beth McCord. She's one of the ladies behind the glass that makes sure everything gets produced and put out there. And another upcoming guest is someone that we're going to talk to for just a little bit here this evening. This is kind of a test for the feed, and it is a lot different because nothing is immediate. It seems to take quite some time to get streamed into all the areas. It's like we're losing our abilities in technology, They'll scare the hell out of you with the new stuff, but at the same time, they fail. It's on your page, best page. I'm being told it was... I just got messaged from somebody and told me it is on your page.
Red, White, and Patriots.
How about your own name?
Oh, why would I pick to look there? That would make too much sense.
What the hell's your name? Red, White, and Patriot?
I don't know. There we are. Yes. Okay.
All right, and you might notice how far it's behind. I don't know. Can you click on it or send it to me to my page now that you did it? Because this way it'll work out all the kinks. And then we got to get one to Rosalind if she wants one. And it may help us in the future. So everybody, thank you if you're seeing this. We're just heckling here and messing around trying to understand a multi-task of feed to several different locations. And you think you're on in like a minute and you're not no more. It's taking like 5, 6, 7 minutes to get the entire platform streaming throughout all the social medias that we wanted to hit. It's also sent to, I think, 10 o'clock talks.
I'm sharing it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't go crazy share.
I'm just sharing to our pages.
Yeah, that's cool. So we can give everybody like a heads up on what's
share it to my page and I'll go that's crazy with it. But anyway.
Step into the dark. Step into the unknown. Step into the dark. Step into the unknown.
I am sitting almost in the dark. I'm pretty much in the dark. I could be in the dark.
Oh
the light's going up in the dark.
Who's complaining? Beth's sitting there with a flashlight in front of her face. You don't care.
Oh, I got a flashlight here somewhere, but I'm not sure where it is.
Yeah, put it under your chin since we're going to talk about a bunch of eventful, frightful things as soon as we figure out what the hell's going on here. Maybe someone will come in.
I got to go through my electronic little trinket box here and see if I can find a flashlight. Ding, ding, ding. I heard that. Oh, and
that
I
was a
get
friend
one
request from me.
Dave's telling me it's not coming up with notification. Maybe it's because it's coming up as a shared link.
Oh, I can put myself in a galaxy.
Dave Glovin?
Yeah, he was trying to tell me that he couldn't see it that way. Send him a link.
I'm going to send it to him.
Oh, I can put myself in the galaxy.
The Patriot citizen journalist, Dave Glovin, the reporter behind scenes,
Ooh, that's cool.
a.k.a. Coattail Man.
Ooh.
That's my Gorbachev. I'm sorry.
There I'm in a
So
galaxy.
anyway, we're live out there, and again, anyway, if you're joining again, you're checking us
Love
out.
it, Chris.
There we go. I'm loving it. She's
I
putting.
like that.
Yeah, yeah. Last night she had me in sunglasses. I'm not me in sunglasses. I had me in sun. I don't even. I dropped the phone. I picked it up, and I'm sitting there talking to her, and I'm thinking, well, this must be something that Canada people do. You know, she threw sunglasses on me, and she's like, "Oh, I dig your sunglasses." You know, because it makes you look like you're half Avatar, or
I
whatever
didn't
they
know
call
it was sunglasses. You did that yourself. I didn't do
Yeah,
it.
well, what the hell are you using, woman? I mean, I want to know. I
It's
want
an
one of those.
actual galaxy projector. It projects the
Oh,
galaxy.
okay.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that's so
used,
like the spirits can walk through them and stuff, and you can see the imagery of the shadows. I love it.
yeah, I got it. I got it for card reading.
Well, you can draw in all kind of stuff when you card read, you know. Hey, what do you think you know, about this whole pyramid thing? I mean, the mathematical equations to the build of them actually, you know, are kind of coincide with the speed of light. I mean, if you look into that, do you know anything about that, Rosa?
Well, I don't know about it being the speed of light, but I like. How can I? When they built the pyramids, they built it on some mathematical equation that cannot be duplicated. Like they tried to duplicate. They took engineers and they tried to rebuild the pyramids themselves in like these virtual, I don't know, virtual computer things, model things, everything like that. And they could not get it. They could not get it. To this day, they still can't get it. They don't know. They don't know exactly what was like
Check
what
your messenger.
mathematical formula was used to build these pyramids.
Well, you know, sound and vibration, everything has to do with it. We always talk about that and in the afterlife and more, and the mathematics and numerology, and it does add up in a very large way. I mean,
They believe that the
four
pyramids.
three. What is it? 432, 12, 144. If you get into
Yeah.
these types of numbers, then you're getting into there's answers within them. Because sound and vibrations, it's everything, including weaponry.
Well, nine is supposed to, okay, as far as I know in numerology, nine is your divine number. So nine is in everything. I guess if you took me and put me in out and measured them, it would come out with like nine in it. There's a lot of nines in the measurements. Don't quote me on numbers. Like I'm not good with mathematics, but
Sorry, I have a
nine.
calculator sitting here. I'll guide you.
Well, yeah, they got it. If you took a tree and you measured a tree, it would come out with the nines in it. Took man, measured man, it comes out with the nines in it. Nine was a divine number. Three was also a very sacred number. It was the number of the Trinity.
Right.
It's also the number of the witches. Um, but
Yeah.
basically,
Is
all
that the witching hour?
what three? No, 12 is the witching hour. 12.
Why does
12 is
everybody? Well, then I really have a serious question for you. Why does everybody jump off with 3 a.m.? Because to be quite honest with you, I get poked to wake up at 3 a.m. a lot. Not a joke. So what? And I'm not saying it has anything to do with anything, but it's something that I've experienced. You and I've talked in behind the last few days since we met each other and narrated around a lot of things that we talk about. And I never brought that up, but I am to you now that is a fact of something that happens to me. What are your thoughts on that? This 3 a.m. thing.
Well, 3 a.m. is actually the time of awakening. It's where if you're going to have an awakened experience, it would be at 3 a.m. that you would have this awakening. Like an awakening is like when you have a big aha moment. Something just strikes you and you're like, aha, I got it. That type of thing. awakenings can happen in dreams too. I mean, where you could have this very vivid dream that it's so vivid that you're actually living it and you think that it's actual reality, but then you kind of come to and you realize, hey, wait a minute, I'm dreaming, you know?
Okay.
Those usually happen around 3 a.m.
Interesting.
So
Well,
it's the awakening. I don't know why people associate it with dead times because I've always spoke to spirits from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. I mean, spirits don't sleep.
well,
Spirits,
no, and they
day
take up
you can talk to a spirit.
right, and they take up a fraction of space. You can't even calculate the energy point of it. I mean, if you were to go and look at the tip of a needlehead, it's probably smaller, and that's one of the things we talked about. Why you can get multiple demonic forces invade a body, and you have to peel the layers and fabrics back of them. You can actually put hundreds of thousands, and people don't realize how that equation could even be possible. But they don't take up space because there is no such thing as space or space and time or space time. And my thought of that, because that's probably one of my issues. You know, they like to just torment me, and I do experience weird things. But that was a good you analyzed that well. I mean, because for a while there, it was just the engineering room in the middle here texted me at 3 o'clock because she couldn't sleep or something. Or one of my friends over on the north side of Pittsburgh, Dory, but she went through a lot of things. So maybe my mind just focuses telepathically, as you said, that we can do. We can pick up on each other's frequencies, and there is a commoncy in there that does have an effect. Like you think about somebody and the phone rings and there they are.
Oh, I've had that many, but I've dreamt people. That's the thing. I've dreamt people. And right after I've dreamt a person, it'd be like if they personally know me, they're getting a hold of me. If they don't personally know me, they're doing something. You know what I mean? Either they're looking me the hell up or they're listening to me on something like something. You just know something is afoot, right?
Yeah.
We're all connected. We are all connected. That's what oneness is.
See, Beth, I
See,
told you.
Man's trying to separate. Man's trying to separate. Man's trying to say, no, I'm not a part of that. I'm not a part of that. Yeah, you are. Like your zodiac sign, okay, is on the wheel. If you're on the wheel, you're connected. I mean, unless you're an alien. If you're an alien, you're not on the wheel, and then you're not connected. So, and that very well could be. I mean, there's a theory
Don't they have
aliens.
birthdays?
What?
Don't they have birthdays?
Nope.
Oh.
Oh,
Nope.
on the other side of anything that I ever could conclude was there's not a thing that matters. There's such a release of all the emotions and all the thoughts, the patterns, the stress. It's just a spiritual everything love.
Exactly.
And peace. And people must really understand, that is what they may be able to expect. But again, it has to do a lot with how you live, and as far as I'm concerned, because I think karma is going to always take you to the ultimate place by how you act with people and how you do things within people, and things you may say or what you believe in. I think there's a higher place for that. But again, that's just an opinion from me. It doesn't mean it's fact. What are you grinning about, girl? What are you thinking? You're sitting there with this grin. I'm just trying to figure you out. So if you're just joining us, this is Studio 10 Broadcasting, and this is the Dark Radio Project Network. We're going through a test here as we're setting up this group room. We're large on a lot of other platforms. I was not on YouTube for a while, just to fill you in, but not by my own doing. I guess I did something wrong. So anyway, I'm back, and we're going to try to build the platform up again and talk about a lot of the unknown and more, and maybe some current issues in the world that we're all facing today. So we appreciate you coming in. I see there's somebody in the group room. It's actually pretty empty, but Facebook's jumping, so I know there's people there. And I'm not going to read off what's going on down there. I want to concentrate the hair. So, all right, we have this purity, this enlightenment, this release, no more worries, no more anxieties. Everything is calm.
Yes.
Do you think
So
it's always light? Do you think it's always light there?
where?
Well, they say you go to the light. I just, you dabbling in this for all the years, concentrated in one area of, cleansing homes and helping people and removing negatives and the very bad ones and more, to bring them back to sanity in a lot of ways. And that's your rock star for being able to do that. But do you
Pretty
think
much.
that when that does occur and you take the steps, it's your time to take those steps? And they always say we go to the light. Is it actually all light there? Is it always light there? I mean, is it always sunshine? Is it always the beauty? Because when we hear about people who have died and more, that have vivid memories, stories, even being able to astro project from their body and look over their own body while they're laying on a morgue table and reawaken up out of it, they have a story and could tell the people every word that came from people's mouths while they were pronounced dead. Any thoughts there?
Well, I can tell you, you're probably not going to believe me if I said it, but like a lot of people don't, I guess. They think that, okay, we already went over that dreams, according to the Egyptians, right, was a rehearsal for death. Okay. But when you die, your
Mhm.
body, you leave your body, your soul leaves your body, takes the consciousness with it. So you got to remember that everything is consciousness. So now
Right.
we go back to the mind. There's the higher consciousness and there's the lower consciousness and there's the now. We're in the now, right? This is the consciousness. If you're going to hell, you're going to the lower. That's just simple. If you're going to the light, you're going to the higher consciousness.
Okay.
Some people have the ability in dreams to what's called dream jump dimensions. It's an ability that you go to different dimensions. So you can actually like visit, spirits of past. You could visit the future. You could actually see your Alaskan record. You can actually
Ah,
see hell and you can actually see heaven. Well, the little trip that I kind of took once, yeah, it's light, my dear. It's all light there. It's just where I was a building that was full of light. Like everybody was dressed in white. Everybody glowed. Everybody, like, the walls were white. They were so white they glowed. Everything just was so white. It was just unreal. And I was like, oh shit, am I supposed to be here? I don't think I am. The thing about me is I'm a lucid dreamer, so I think when I dream, which is a good thing, because some people are mindless when they dream. And then if anything happens to them in dream state, they kind of can't come out of it. And if they do come out of it, they freeze up. It's you can learn to teach yourself dream control to stop that. But me, I was born with dream control, so I just had to learn how to master it. And I remember in this dream, I knew I wasn't supposed to be here. And I was like, oh my God, like if I don't leave now, I'm not going to wake up. I can't be here. So I'm in this building in a room where there's a door and there's a window on it. And when I look in, there's a big white table and there's people dressed in white and they're all glowing. And I just know I'm not to be here. So I crouched down, like I ducked down from so they wouldn't see me. And I just, in my mind, like I'm like, dear Lord, please help me. I don't know where I'm at. And then I went out another door and I came into another room and the walls were white. They were just glowing and there was a staircase. And I could hear clunk, clunk, clunk. And I looked and there was boots. And there was this man who had blonde hair and he like he was tanned, he was well built. I recognized him as being Michael. And I'm just like, oh Lord, I'm not supposed to be here. And I remember not being able to control anymore. It was like something else had control of me. And all I remember is going down on the floor and turning over on my back, in which the dream switched. And now I'm in a room with the same guy, which is, Michael, and I'm sitting in a chair, and it's like set up like a boardroom. Like there's, when they do those presentations where you
Yeah.
sit before a big TV. Well, there was this TV, and we're sitting in this room, and I'm like, what the hell? Next thing you know, I woke up, and I was like, oh my fuck. No one's going to believe me if I told them that I actually was up in the consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's light. It's another dream. I think I was higher up too, because wherever I was, it was daylight, and it was bright, bright, bright daylight, like bright. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. It was, bright. It was just beautiful. It was like a really nice setting to it. So
So
yeah, like,
I'm sorry.
you
To
know,
me,
that,
to me, it's almost like you're describing angelic beings. And then on the other hand, when you tell me you've seen Michael and like this beautiful blonde man, well built, just perfection of what we would probably look as someone of humanity. And then we hear about the possibility of palladiums and that they may have played part of the part of how we may have came to be. I mean, I'm just saying that this is just things that come to me in my mind right now, listening to you trying to like weigh information together. What do you think about that? Because I'm sure you heard about extraterrestrials and different places and whatnot. And one other thing I want to throw in, because I was wondering, maybe it's important. Isn't there 13 actually? Uh, the number 13 very important when it comes to how we look at the whole scope of the round circle of the astrology.
yep, yep. 13 is important. I mean, there's 12 zodiacs, but the 13th, now there is a 13th zodiac, but it's supposed to
Right.
be like, uh, it's kind of, I mean, they say Libra's sign is mysterious, but this 13th sign is even more mysterious because nobody's really heard tell of it. It's like something they just like, and I'm thinking, okay, well, wait a minute, 13, but I don't think it's a sun. I think it's something else. Maybe it's the spirit of man, maybe it's, I don't know, I'm not sure what it is, but I know there's a 13th one. Yeah.
Okay.
And since we're on the thing of aliens, yeah, like there you go. See that book? That is all your aliens, my dear.
Is that the book of the 57?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know if you know Clifford Stone. He just passed away. He was somebody that actually was in a military industrial complex of a different sort, part of the crash retrieval systems in America. And he made and came out and leaked a lot of information. He was actually a sensitive and could telepathically engage with them and read their thoughts. I don't know if you know that guy or if anybody out there listening will
I
get this.
I might have come across them on some, like I watched some real documentaries on aliens and stuff like that, and I might have come across the name. But I mean, it's been a while since I've watched one. Like Christmas has been havoc. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Phone ringing off the hook. Like shopping. You'd be lucky you even get an hour in TV without falling asleep. But I'm definitely going to go back into watching them. So, but yeah, there's people out there who are far more advanced in the UFO like subject than what we are. We're not the first to touch on it.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
I can
And
just
the
tell you my
information.
experiences from seeing like UFOs. You know, I've seen two of them, three of them actually. The first one I ever saw was like, I didn't really see it. It was like a whole field was lit up in a glow of red. And when I went to like, it was just odd because it looked like the whole field was on fire, but it wasn't. And it wasn't the sun. It was 10 o'clock at night. And I was like, what the heck? And I made my partner at the time pull the hell over and like, because I wanted to take a picture of it. And I had just charged the camera prior to leaving. And when I went to turn the camera on, the whole battery went dead. The whole camera just died.
Right.
And then the glow was gone. And I don't know, to this day, I don't even know what I saw. But the only thing I could say is UFO, right?
Well, you know what? A lot of people have experienced things, and in some cases, there are experiencers that actually lived through certain things, and our information has to come from where we can focus. The voice comes from people with the stories that have something to say about it, that lived in it, or in some ways on other levels worked with in it or around it. And that's what the information we got to get through, because everything that's out there in this place and time doesn't come easy, and the suppression of everything is part of the worst part of it all. And I just have to wonder, like the question that I had for you earlier when we were in the green room early, when I brought up to you the thought of, and I brought this up, I think, with somebody else recently on a podcast, where, you know, people say, you know, they got removed from their bed and they remember going like through their own wall as if they could do it. And then they go up on this light that takes them into the craft. And to me, it's wondering is our consciousness, do they have the capabilities? And you answered it, but we'll reflect. Do they have the ability, if they are real, if true, and these things happen, can they remove our consciousness, leave our bodies there in place? We feel like we're whole, and we do experience it all as if we were whole there, but yet we're in spiritual form going with them. And how else could we go through a wall with them?
Absolutely.
So they may telepathically be able to extract us.
Yes. They can, actually, because the thing about it is you, okay, when you're abducted, it's a mind thing. They literally, like a soul thing. They literally take your soul. Like they take your consciousness, they take your soul, and some say that when they come back, they're changed. Like either they changed part of them or they took something from them. Like there are ones that do take the body. Those are the grays. But then there are ones that take you like subconsciously and they kind of change you like in some way. So it's almost like when you come back to reality, the reality has changed. It's the most, each one works differently. Like they don't all work the same. So it depends on which one you're getting abducted by. If you're getting abducted by a gray, that's not good. They take the body. Their aim is to create an alien / human race where women have claimed to come back and have like, you know, tests done on their uterus and their sperm removed or their eggs removed, and just terrible shit, eh? And I'm like, holy crap. But then you get these other experiences that don't add up to that. It's a mental thing. It's like, you know, their body was there, but their mind is somewhere else, or their soul was somewhere else. Like they were passing through with this, you know, almost like a grim reaper taking you, I guess.
Kind of like, and also kind of like, yeah, kind of almost like broken memory as well. That comes out of this, you know, unless they're regressed.
I mean, like in my case, you know, when I went through the trails and I realized that we were going through it, like when I first did the trail, I did the audio recording. I had the headsets on. I was listening to everything. I heard, okay, now the first of the trail is right by the high, so you're going to hear the traffic. But it was what I heard that kind of made me go, what? Because it was 10 o'clock at night. And what I heard was a motorcycle, a firecracker, and a dog bark. Now, fireworks, the kids have been known to put them off around here, but not a firecracker. And I thought that was kind of weird. And I was like, okay. So I just kept going. But after that, it seemed every 10 minutes into the trail, I would experience something. And I was like, it would either be something walking behind me, something in the bushes, but there'd be nothing there. At one point, I smelled like campfire smoke. And then there was flowers that weren't even growing there. And I was like standing there stunned going, what the hell? Like, did I walk into a portal or something?
That's what
So
it
the
sounds
next
like.
time that I went, I did the same thing. I took the audio recorder, but this time we took an extra piece of gear to kind of, we did an EMF reading. Now there's no wires there, so the EMF reader should not have been spiking. And it was in these particular spots that I was picking this shit up. They were spiking. And again, at the very beginning of it, 10 minutes into the trail, I hear the exact same thing. A motorcycle, a firecracker, and a dog bark. And I'm like, okay, that is not right. That is not right. Like, it isn't. The third time, because I said, we're going for a third. We're going down, because like when we went down again the second time, things changed. Now we're experiencing things a little bit more differently, but still they were 10 minutes in. And I'm like, okay, the whole thing just changed. That's just weird. So I went back the third time. And right when I heard 10 minutes in again, because I'm timing now, and I'm like, I'm 10 minutes in, and I hear it again. I hear the motorcycle, I hear the firecracker, I hear the dog. And that's when I stopped and I pulled the headsets down and I said to my colleague, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know what we're headed into or where the heck we're going to go. But whatever it is you think, you better keep freaking careful bead on your thoughts, because when you come out of this, your reality is about to change. I don't think she believed me. I really don't. Okay? But I knew when I was going down in there to keep a bead on my thoughts, I saw, I don't know what the hell. It was like a large pterodactyl-like creature. Sort of like Mothman, I guess, if you want to say that. I mean, I did dream Mothman, but to me, this thing looked like a prehistoric dragon or something, like a dinosaur. It looked like a dragon. That's all I can describe it like, a dragon. And it flew into the field. And when I went into the field to get like better look at it, it was gone. And I was like, okay, I don't know what the hell, but this is just, we're somewhere. I don't know where we are, but we're somewhere. And we're supposed to be on a trail, for some strange reason, I was getting that, like, the opening of the field was going to disappear on me. And I don't know why I thought that, but I did. So I stuck my flashlight over the opening of it to get out because I wasn't sure. And I was like, I hope I'm not manifesting this, because it was coming to me like I wasn't forcibly thinking it. It was just coming to me. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get out of here. So I got out of there and I'm standing in the middle of the trail. And I said to the colleague of mine, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, we have a choice. We can keep going down in here, okay, and not guarantee we're ever coming back again. And if we do come back again, is it our reality? Like, or we can scoot the hell out of here and say we never done that. And she's like, well, this is what we're here to do, isn't it? Isn't this what we specialize in? We're going in. The pictures I took that day, that night, I can't explain them. There was glows around everything, like a blue glow and a green glow. Like everything had like an ectoplasm around it. And I was like, that is so weird. When I
Sounds
got up,
sounds to me almost like a past vortex where you were walking through layers,
yep.
because you had different segments of experiences, and you
Hmm.
may have actually thought you were walking, and you may have gone nowhere. You might
Exactly.
have just been walking into something that you never even moved in, even though you thought physically that you were. And people do report that as well, which is really strange, but I hear a lot about that. I truly do. So that's, it's really
But
an
the thing
interesting.
about it was we clock our time before we leave. And the two other experiments that we did with the trail, we had a time frame of how long it takes to walk the trail that we're doing and how long it takes to come back again. So we had a good time frame. When we came back that night, we were missing 2 hours. 2 hours we can't recall. We can't recall 2 hours of our lives. We couldn't even find it on the footage. I said, what the hell is this, the Blair Witch? Shall we play this backwards? We might see where we were. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
was so flipped out. I was like, no, this just can't be happening. But it
Did
was.
you did you ever try to further analyze the situation by being regressed for that day in that moment?
I started to have, I don't know, flashbacks or something, but this colleague of mine didn't. And yet, like, I don't know if they blocked her memory completely of it, but me, I started to have bits of flashbacks with it. And I was told from like a real, like, professional hypnotist that she could take me back through, but I said no. I said no, 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 because it's one of those things that I'm sure if they want me to know, they're gonna, like, let me know in little pieces, maybe. Like, I kind of think that maybe the dreams I have now that are kind of strange and kind of out there are part in bits and pieces of that, of going through whatever it was I went through. Like,
It's
I don't
bizarre.
know. It opened my
That's
eyes.
okay. You don't have to know. You don't have to know everything. This is part of where we open up some of the cans inside the vault that we just don't all the way get. But your story's really important, and your presentation of your thought, because you do have abilities and you're trying to analyze it. And there's just some things that maybe we cannot yet determine as what they are. But to me, it's almost like what I said, a reflection of something that you were meant to experience. Probably with these downloads too that you get, maybe some other thing of this universe and consciousness is downloading these, and to open your mind up of more
Well,
that
that's
benefits you on this reality trip that you're in.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, it awakened me. It was an awakening. It was, I was already awakened, but I went up another level in awareness and I opened myself to it. I wasn't afraid of it. I wasn't, in there causing any harm. I didn't provoke nothing. Nothing. I didn't do any of that. That's dangerous. When you're dealing with um portals and time warps and time travelers and aliens and stuff, like, you don't want to be, like, provoking something you don't know how
Right.
it's going to react. Like, how would I even go up against that, you know
It's hard to go up against it. The unknown is just there, but it can be damaging, I guess, in a lot of ways. And to analyze it, I'm not in your shoes to make judgment or try to figure it out, but just sharing some thought of reality. And some parts of what we do know, the ancients were very sensitive of knowing where these areas were and how to get through them and so forth.
well, that was one of the dreams that I had, the flashback. Hi, welcome back.
Yeah, I don't know
Sorry.
what happened to that young
Yeah,
lady.
she went, she come right back again.
I
Look
was
at that.
trying to figure out how to work the chat and I deleted myself out. I'm sorry.
Oh,
And now she's playing musical pictures.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Unbelievable. There.
Uh,
Do you like where you're at now? It's a mystery. It's a mystery, Bob. Like, it's part of the paranormal of what we deal with in life and more. But if you think about the ancient ones and so forth, but I want you to look into something for me. Me and Dave were having a talk earlier today, and I want you to check into the Hathor Temple, Hathor Temple, and the Dandran Zodiac of
okay,
13.
do you want to message me that and I'll look into it for you?
You don't
Just
go
message
to
me.
you. Wait, I need to ask you a very serious question. You're an admin in a group, and
Yeah, no,
how you didn't get the notification already is beyond me.
I don't
Um,
know.
hints are always placed and put in place to enlighten the source of the information. All right, I'll make sure it comes to you right now direct because I do want you to get into it because there's a
Missed
lot
it
of.
in her feed.
Pardon me.
She had to have missed it in her feed.
Probably.
Yeah, because it's in the group room.
I saw it.
And there's a lot of great information there, and it talks a lot exactly about what your experience was, but also a couple of the questions of the zodiac and more of the 13. And to me, it's one of the most definitive proofs that's like 14,000 years old on this earth that
Mhm.
actually puts us in the frequency of alignment, astrology, and more. And I want you to check it out. So I'm going to send it to you
We're,
direct right now.
we're
And
actually coming up to a conjunction with Capricorn, and Venus is going into renegade right now. So these are things that we have to kind of be careful of because what it's saying is that if you don't want to manifest something like a negative, this would be the time to be positive, keep track on your thoughts sort of
oh,
thing,
I'm
and be careful
positive.
in
I'm
your love life.
positive.
Because be careful in your love life and relationships because old flames are going to come back at you at this time. When Venus goes in renegade, people you don't want from the past, the exes and the karmics and all them that you got rid of, all those people that were just drama, 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 are going to resurface. So you just kind of got to keep a beat on that, is to say, hey, listen, I'm done with you, just move on, right?
Hmm.
Like, because that's what happens when Venus goes in renegade. But we're in conjunction with Capricorn, and this is supposed to be a conjunction that hasn't happened in a few thousand years. So it's happening. It's rare. It's happening again. Capricorn is Saturn, and Saturn is all about manifestation, practicality. Um, so it's basically the way that it works is if you are thinking or dwelling on something, it could very well manifest, and it can manifest rapidly. So this would be the time that you want to put your thoughts into what you most want right now, like, what you right now are aiming at, what's your goals, like, and make sure that they're reasonable because if they're not reasonable, they're not going to come out the way you want them to. So pretty much be practical about it is what they say because Saturn's a practical planet. So and you will end up manifesting it.
So, in other words, positivity in your movements forward, focus
Yep,
on future,
yep,
and
pretty much.
the potential of life that you can make from it. Because the total honesty, it's we create where we go forward every day.
We create our own realities, my dear. we
Exactly.
we are capable of creating our own realities, good or bad. Okay. And even if we create a bad one, you're able to transform that reality into a good one. Like, you just take it and flip the switch on it is all you do. So it's like, okay, all this is like today when everything was going bad, I was turning it into a good. It's like, all right, well, that's going to, okay, I'll just do this. and I was it's kind of like dancing with it, right? But you get used to it, I guess. Once you practice it a few times and it works for you, you get the hang of it. Um, you don't dwell in the negative, like don't, because you'll end up manifesting it. It's just as
Right.
simple as that.
Well,
Like,
a lot of people just misuse the whole temperament of what the true zodiac is about. Like they'll reflect to Augusta and Julius,
mm,
August and July. You know what I mean? At the Roman
yeah,
Empire and things of that nature, and they truly don't know the narrative or the definitions of what any of it means, or the fact that it might represent a female goddess of some sort. But everything was named in place so mathematically perfect. Some even say that the moon was actually is a false narrative of what we think it is, and it has a larger story to tell, and it was actually
mhm,
put there, that it was
mhm.
not here, and it was placed there by something of a different intelligence. I don't know if you know about that, but I thought I'd share that in there. So, what do you think about how some people reflect into that narrative, or can you tell them the best way to be enlightened by a book, something, or looking up on the internet that gives them better definition and clarity to what the zodiac means if they're
Your
interested
best
in reading?
bet is to look into your own sign right now. Look at your own sign, and then you can look at where you fit into the picture of all the other signs. You should also look into your chart. You do have a natal chart. You do have other signs. You have a moon sign. You have a rising sign. You have an ascending sign. Some people don't even have a rising sign and ascending sign. Some don't even have those. Like I've read a few charts where I was like, what the hell? This person doesn't have those. That's pretty cool. Wow. Where some, like, I got a rising sign and I get an ascending sign. And then the ascending sign is like what you extend into. So it's kind of like my extending sign is actually Leo. So it's leadership. So I can extend up into leadership, right? And then my rising sign is Scorpio. So this is why I'm so deep into the occult, because that's Scorpios are deep people. We're philosophers, we think deeply than most people, but I'm a Libra. So I'm balanced.
Wow, that makes me wonder with some of these people that wrote prophets that have come true, like what was their birth signs and so forth, because in certain ways of certain things and certain people, um, and what they were able to accomplish and what really did become a reality left in their wording and writings, how they fit into that. And I just
Non
wonder if there's a mathematical
Nostradamus.
match.
Nostradamus was the one that used astrology to predict what he predicted.
He
Okay.
predicted all this right now.
He predicted it by this, where, when I talk about your conjunctions and I
Yeah.
talk about your, like, what is going into, like, renegade, and that's how he was getting the prediction. It's a little more deeper level of the astrology. It's one that, like, a lot of us, like, that are into the astrology really haven't touched on yet, because I mean now you're getting deep, deep, deep into it. You
Right.
would have to learn, like, your constellations to, like, everything. I'm not even sure how half of the light workers I know keep track of what they do, but they do, right?
Okay.
Um, I should get my info from them. Like, I'll take in a card reading and they'll tell me where I stand right now. And I'm like, oh shit, Venus is going into Renegade. Damn, like, I better let somebody know that, because all these people you don't want are going to come back, right? So,
Understood.
but it's a deep, deep. The astrology and zodiac is a deep, deep subject. It's a subject that, like, is a lot to it. You should learn the basics first, I guess, like with your natal chart. Like, you can look up free natal chart. I can actually, like, just post it in the group, and then you can get it. Everybody can go in and get it done. All you got to put in is your name, and, like, like your first name and last name, and then you put in your day of birth, where you were born, and your time if you know it. If you don't know it, just put unknown. Okay. and it will come back. Now, when you read the chart, do not try to read the chart itself. It's too confusing. It goes, here, there, and everywhere. So you got to read the legend that's down below it. It will tell you. So your sun sign is this, your moon sign is this, if you have a rising sign or ascending sign, and then where you're placed at. So you might have certain planets in certain signs, you might have certain signs in certain places. That all makes you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I've got a Scorpio 3 times over. And I didn't understand what that meant until an astrologer, like somebody who's like way further into it than me. And I told him, and he's like, oh my God. He goes, so you're like, when you strike, you strike. Like when you get mad, it's dark, dark, dark. It's a strike. He said, like you lash. And I'm like, well, I guess so. Yeah. Because, that's why I got to watch my anger half the time, because even though I'm speaking truth, it's like a scorpion sting. It's like, and I poison them. And then I didn't understand, because I'm a Venus. I didn't know about the 15 degree this way. And if you're over 15 degree, you're a evening star. And if you're 15 degree in the other way, you're a morning star. Well, I'm 15 degree right on. And he was freaked by that. He's like, oh my God.
You're centered to the 15? You're centered to the 15.
Yep. I'm right on the 15%.
Interesting. Hey, Beth, do you have any questions?
No, I'm learning.
Yeah, I mean, well, there is a lot to learn and understand. I mean, it's just weird, but
it's an interesting subject, but there's a lot to it. You know what I mean? And you're best to come start with your own sign and learn your natal chart, so that you can learn where you are with other signs. So, like, you have a sister sign. Okay, the sister sign is like your opposite sign. Like mine is Aries. So Libra's opposite sign is Aries. Now they call them the counterparts, I guess, but they're the yins to the yangs. But the thing about Libra is Libra's got two yin to the yangs, and I didn't understand that. And I'm like, why does all other signs have only one and I got two? My other yin and yang sign is Cancerian. So I can balance out with an Aries, or I can balance out with a Cancerian. And I'm like, well, okay, that's kind of strange, considering that, like, I get along with Cancerians until they get moody, I don't know, Libra doesn't do well with emotions, right? But with Aries,
you can't base everything in life in one way either. But I get what you're saying, because it's basically an explanation of your personality and who you are and what your life is. So I get that. It's not unusual. And something you brought up, you said that you're direct, you're straight, you strike. You kind of said it like that, not all in the same words that I just used. And that brings me back to a frame of mind where you shared with me that you have Celtic in your blood.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you come from High Priestess.
I got Celtic on one side and biblical on the other. My family roots on my mother's side go back to the Celtics. We go back to the Irish and the Scottish.
Right.
Like directly back. Like we got roots to Salem. One of her ancestrals was actually like hung in Salem as a witch. She was one in the witch trials. So then
I think you're being spiritually prepared in this life for the things you do with everything you're taught. I'm not trying to analyze you, but you're explaining to me things that would influence you.
No, it's destiny. I was destined for it. So I guess
they're influencing you.
I was destined for it. I was destined for it. No, you guys are shaping me. Like how can I put it? You're stepping into my path and pushing me along it. You know what I mean? Because I don't have an issue being by myself. In fact, being by yourself is rather addictive. But
solo's cool.
And when you withdraw too much, you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing, I guess, which what your life purpose, soul purpose, you know what I mean? Like it kind of takes, I guess the universe lines it up in a certain way where they just bring people into your life and go, whether you like it or not, you're going to go out there. You're going to speak. You're going to enlighten. You're going to educate. No matter the good or the bad, you're going to do it. You know what I mean? And I can't pass it up because it's like I want to educate people. I want to help people. I can't be there for everybody here, there. Like there's only one of me. And I can't be there to address everybody's issue. So I thought that going out on a radio blog and putting the knowledge out there, they'll be able to take it in and say, okay, this is what we need. You know, we have the knowledge, we have the, because knowledge is the weapon. Knowledge
Yeah.
is the weapon. It's power. When
Mhm.
they talk about your power, they're talking about your knowledge, your wisdom, your intelligence.
Man,
Like,
I've always shared that to everybody. Words are power, and everything else you just said, that's been a focus. I've tried to create a drawing card. Maybe now you know what I was doing, Beth. Hey, by the way, Beth, wait, what is your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius.
wow,
Sagittarius.
that's
I'm
serious.
pretty,
Another fire sign.
yeah.
Yeah.
That well, you know what? You need to go to somebody to hear more. You need to talk to Rosa when you do, and everybody. If you're joining in, because I'm seeing some clip names, I just want to say hi to anybody that's come in
When
on YouTube. Join
I get
in.
along good, I get along good with Leos and I get along good with Sagittarius, but I do not like me and Aries. We get along to a certain degree, but then like, well, you know, they coined it right. Love is war, war is love. Goes back to Aphrodite and Aries. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. And if you
It's
don't
like,
know
why
who
are
they
you
are,
being
you may
such
have
an
seen them
ass?
in
You
movies.
know? Like Virgo. Now Virgo is a different sign. Now I've had Virgos surround me all the time, eh? Virgos surround me like nuts, and I'm like, ah, you know. At certain times, a Virgo keeps me grounded, but at other times they keep me too grounded, and it's just like, yeah. I
Well,
think it's just lessons that you have to learn, you know.
I attract people to me because of what I am and what I do, and I'm part of the 13, but only part of the real 10. So
Yeah,
that's my numbers of numerology that I utilize that I like. However, I'm Leo, but
yeah,
I favor numbers because they seem to refer and reflect truth and ability. So
no,
I don't know the whole deal on Leo, but you tried to explain to me the other day that it's kind of like a leadership role, but I don't look at it as that. It's to me, it's more like a confidence builder. You know, when the chips are down, it's more my
The Leo
personality.
was technically the Leo is a leader of the zodiac. They're technically the leaders. They're like the big cats. That's why they're represented like a lion, right? So basically, you know, when you guys roar, you roar. You know what I mean? Other
Right.
times you're just pussy cats, right? Like,
He's
I mean,
allergic
come on
to
now,
them.
Sagittarius over
He's
here is a
allergic to them.
centaur, you know? Sagittarius over here is a centaur,
What am
you
I
know?
allergic to? Sagittarius.
No,
God,
Sagittarius is a centaur. A centaur is like, you know, part horse, part man, right? And
Right.
then you
Right.
got Leo over there, who's the lion, you know, the great big lion, right? So now let's look at the zodiac wheel. What we got? We got man and animal. Okay, we got Aries, who's a ram. Definitely, they're
Right.
a ram. I can tell
Right.
you that right now. Aries is when they go after stuff, you just get out of the way. Okay, they will ram you. Okay, you got Gemini, who's twins, and Deb, believe you me, there's dual personality in there. Like 1 minute you're getting along just fine with them, the next minute you're at war with them. Okay, it's that dual personality, right? Like I'm a Libra, I balance it, and my son's a Gemini, so it ain't hard for me to do it. You got I'll go by the elements the elements of the. It's easier to go by the elements when it comes to it. But you got Leo the lion. You got Sagittarius the centaur. You got Aries the ram. You got Gemini, who's the twins. you got the water bearer, who's Aquarius. Now, Aquarius is of the type of people, they're not in the past, they're not in the future, they're in the now, period.
My son.
Like, they like to learn, don't get me wrong. They're highly intelligent. They belong to the air element. Air element is or the mind of man, but they don't dwell in the past, and they don't look into a future. They stay right in the now. That's where they stay. So if you ever want to come back to the now, take up hook up with an Aquarius. You know what I mean? They'll bring you to the now, right? Libras are an object. We are not animal or man. We are objects, period. We're the scales. And our sign goes back to like karma and spiritual law and spiritual order. And some say that Libra actually is got divine authority to actually judge a person, like not really judge a person's soul, but we can kind of like, how do I put it? If somebody is doing us utmost wrong and we walk away from them, we're done with it. And we say, okay, that's it. I'm done with you. I'm blocking you. I'm finished. I'm walking away. Karma hits them hard. Like, boom. Like, we bring towers into people's lives, I guess. We bring about the change and the balance. Then you got water. Water is like Cancerian is a crab. You got Pisces, who's a fish. And you got Scorpio, who's a scorpion. And then on Earth, you got the Capricorn, who's half goat, half fish. And then you got your Virgo, that is a virgin. And then you got your Taurus, who's both. But Libra is the only mechanical device on the wheel.
Wow. And water's life, and water's alive.
Water is your emotions, and it's your, water is emotions. It's our emotions. Fire is our spirit, okay? Like, sparks of fire get you going, passion, putting things in action, doing things. Air is your mind. It's the mind. So it's the mental, your knowledge, your intellect, your enlightenment. And then you have Earth, who's your physical. They're just your grounding.
Right.
Your practicality.
Well, puts a whole different flair into the thing when people used to walk up with the weirdest question when you meet somebody and you came up with the comment, hey, what's your sign? I mean, were people really into all that, or was that one of the lamest questions you could ask one? But you know what? It's a fascinating topic if you want to learn it. And even if when you look at the cow, and a product of what they said was the milk and part of the Milky Way. And so there's fragments of everything that narrates everything of the fragments that are created, that we live within, that we narrate around. And I'm confusing the hell out of y'all, but I know that, but that's okay because this is a big twisted circle anyway. But there's information in it as long as you're willing to look at the information. Yeah, you're both grinning at me, but it's true. It's true. It wasn't that the weirdest line that you could come up with. I mean, I never lived in that line, but maybe people were really astrology nuts back then, and that's why they used it.
Way back in Nostradamus' day, way back then, astronomy was everything. Like it was the science. It was the science of the age. Like they were just coming out of the taboo age of superstition about it and coming into actually accepting it for what it was. Nostradamus was actually asked by the Queen no, he was asked by the Queen of France. The Queen of France had dragged him all the way to, I think it was the Queen of France. It was one of the queens, dragged him all the way to her palace. It was the one that was married to King Henry. So dragged him all the way to her palace to actually have him predict to her everything. She went by everything he said. He even predicted her husband's death, and it happened.
Yes, exactly. And I do know that story, but I know that there was questions surrounding him with the Vatican because they feared people who had information or could bring information like that, and they really had to prove themselves with the highest regards. So I know that even back in the day, if you were so skilled to understand the stars or to be able to write, because I can't say who wrote about any of this, but the fascination has always been the stars. Not what you're grounded in on this earth, but the fascination has always been what's out
But
there,
the
what's
Bible
beyond.
even but the Bible even speaks about signs being like look to the sky for the signs. You know what I mean? Other words, look to your zodiacs, look to the signs. Look like there's more to the zodiac than just your basics. I mean, we're on the basics right now, but when I go back into the study, I'm going beyond the basics. There's some mysteries behind each sign. The zodiac sign Libra on its own is a mystery, my dear. There wasn't even a Libra in the first zodiac. There was Virgo and Scorpio. There wasn't even Libra. And then they brought Libra in as a mysterious sign. And then everybody questioned why that was. And then when you look at Libra and look at far back where Libra goes to Egypt, to the Book of the Dead, because the scales were what actually weighed the souls. Leo, there's one behind Leo too. There's a little like a mystery, like a lot of like myth and history and things that go back to like different cultures and Egypt. And in Egypt the sun and the moon were your divine feminine and your divine masculine. So this is why they say Leo is the divine masculine and Cancerians are the divine feminines, because the Cancerians are the moon and Leo is the sun. Libra is an empress. Sagittarius, there's that's a mythical creature that has a lot of like history and myth, like a lot. The bull's got a lot of myth in Spain. That's Taurus. Then you got the fish. The fish goes right back to the Bible. That goes back to Christ. And then if you notice,
And I
the
have that
Pisces
fish.
sun, it's the glyph is like this. It's in balance, and it actually looks like the two pillars that kind of sits like in your high priestess card, the two pillars. So,
Well, you know what? All this is very good information, without a doubt. In a way, though, I understand we're looking at the universe of an existence point. The information I was trying to describe to you goes back 14,000 years, which says Libra was always on the map.
yep.
I'm just saying, I'm not debating it. I'm just want you to understand what it's going to reflect when you check that out, and then you can analyze it more. We'll talk about it, no doubt. But it says it was there for 14,000 years. So now we're in a place in time. I just wonder if it was to be rewritten from a viewpoint of narrative of modern day times like now, what this whole map would look like. You know what I mean?
That'd be
Because
kind of interesting.
the eyesight and the thought of mind would be totally a different narrative, I would think.
Well, I'm sure there's probably somebody out there already doing that, but
To redecipher it into modern English of a modern
I
time.
mean,
But how do
a
you
lot of
again, it goes back to the history and the change and the don't touch, and I get that, but I just hope it's good guidance for where we are right now.
Well, I can tell you that some of the card readers that I take in the light, they're called light workers or energy workers.
Right.
And they are gifted, my dear. They're very gifted. See, the thing about cards is a lot of people assume that cards, okay, are, oh, they're this mystical, like, no, it's science. I'm sorry, it's science. Okay. If you know the cards, you know how to read them. The whole point is that they're not just reading the cards, they're pulling on their intuition. So it's like they're seeing things, you know what I mean? But they throw in good info if you really listen. They tell you what each card, they go deep into it. So when when they bring up Librias, right, and they go into the Justice and they go into the Empress, they explain to you like about Libra. Then when they do Leo, they explain to you about Leo. When they do, like, you get really good info off of it, even if the story don't even fit you. To sit there and listen to one of them tell you and explain to you and guide you in it, it's just as good, just as good, right? Because you're sitting there walking away enlightened. And even if you just take it in and you're just learning the cards, you know what I mean? Like, because they'll call out the cards and they'll tell you like what the meaning, and you'll see how they kind of go together. Even if you just kind of forget for a minute that it's your, like, even if you hear your bits and pieces your story in it, and you just let it flow, don't react to it, don't nothing, just let it flow. It's like, oh, okay, the ex is coming back for the 15th time, it's okay. I'll deal with that when it comes, right? And okay, so I'm gonna lose a few bucks, and you don't analyze what it's gonna be. It's just deal with it when it comes, right? If you allow yourself to do that, when you go to sleep, you're going to open yourself up to a enlightenment, to downloads, to like wisdom, to knowledge, to something that you never knew before. And it's a part of you because you're allowing yourself to like be enlightened. You're allowing them to kind of like guide you. You know what I mean? Like, and then you start to see these, and I'm like, I woke up going, wow, okay, that was interesting, you know. And then I go back and I'm flipping through, and I'm like, did she predict that at one point in time that I was, you know? Like, it's very, very enlightening. It is. You learn quite a bit. I mean, a lot of us are getting ditched, my dear. I'm sorry. A lot of the card readers on YouTube are getting ditched. Okay, like, they're on there mocking us. They're on there like, if we haven't got Bible thumpers on one end of us, telling us they're going to pray for our soul, we're all going to burn in hell because because we're doing the devil's work,
I think people's just mindsets are going to be as they are. But I think, in life you experience it once. You shouldn't judge everything, but you should stay open minded to the possibilities of educating yourself, because it could really help you somewhere along the line in a decision, in a place, before you make a bad judgment call because you just have a bad vibration. I think when you live within a circumference of harmony in a certain way, it gives you a better spirituality. There's just going to be some people out there that are just never going to agree. And
well, the thing is, they kind of call them karmics, my dear. They call them lower level people. They even tell them if they'll call you out. They'll call you if you're on there being, kind of judgmental and saying, and especially if they're live, you know what I mean, and they're reading your comments. They will call you out on it, right? They will call you big time out on it, and they'll tell you, they'll give you guidance. They'll tell you you're vibrating on a low level right now. I think you need to do some like inner healing, like resentment, maybe towards your mother, your father, somebody did something, you know what I mean? Like, why would you even, they what they say is really, really like, it's guidance. It's because anybody to come off like that would have to be on the lower level. You would have to be, you know, like you're not learning anything. You're just sitting there spewing off that we're all going to go to hell because we read a deck of cards, like,
yeah,
like seriously. But, and then, you got to watch the ones that kind of set you up too. You know what I mean? Like you could predict something for them and it could be right. It could be 100% right. And yet they'll tell you right to your face, oh no, that ain't right. That ain't right. I mean, it's, yeah. And I've seen public figures do this, my dear. Public figures. People who are supposed to be behind the occult and behind the paranormal and behind the mysteries. You know what I mean? Sitting there downing a spiritualist online because, they, some lower level energy, I guess. You must have some form of hatred to you to be doing that. Like you would have to. I mean, a lot of the card readers.
Somebody read their cards and they didn't like what they said.
I guess not. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, something ticked them right the hell off. You know what I mean? But
maybe they even felt exposed in a certain way.
Well, I'll tell you, after this person, like, I'm not naming no names, you know what I mean? But they know who they are. I'm afraid they know who they are. This public figure, I mean, somebody who had like way more viewers, way more followers, right? Didn't deserve these followers, did not deserve them, because they were out there using that reputation, using that following to down people that they should have been upping, like the underdogs, you know what I mean? The people who are like working right beside them here. And they were doing it with, these tricks of like manipulation, like, oh, well, no, that didn't happen. And oh, no, that didn't happen. And you're wrong on that. You know what I mean? When I knew they were right. Because I'm like, okay, how can that person be wrong? Like, I'm digging up my cards and I'm looking at the same damn thing and I said it. No, I'm looking at the same damn thing. When my cards, and I pull them, say the same thing as what her cards are saying, that's what it is. They didn't like me at all and I didn't care. I was like, you're not going to sit there and do that to us. Like, you're throwing us beneath a bus. And they're all like, oh, you guys are just out here, taking money and thieving people's money and lying to them. You know what? That person went down for thieving money. That very same person who did it went down for thieving money from his followers. So, this was predicted in the cards. It was predicted. This is why he didn't want to see, like she said. He saw something he didn't want to see. Yes, he did. He saw his own downfall and he didn't want to admit it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, live. I mean, that's why I say karma's everything. Be careful what you wish for out there.
Yeah, careful what you do, because karma's a bit bigger bitch than me, I'll tell you. Than I'm a Libra.
Friend of very close
I'm a sign of karma, right? But I'm a big, it's a bigger bitch to me,
Yeah. So how do you think the test went? I think we got out there to everybody. We kind of learned the format. Rosa, you got to test some of your equipment, your failures to get better. I mean, no, really, I'm not dogging anybody here. I'm just really trying to say.
Oh, challenges. It was a challenge.
Yeah, it's always a challenge. I know.
I learned, though. I did. I wasn't giving up. I was like, okay, well, I could go on my phone, but, and I don't know how I got it. I really don't. It was fluke that I got it. It was just, I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to do this, and I did this, and the next thing you know, I was in, and I was like, what the hell? Like, it just like that. And then with this, what was really strange was this plug. When I plugged the headsets in, now when I had the headsets out of it, I couldn't hear shit from you guys. No, I couldn't hear nothing. Okay? But as soon as I put the headsets in, I could hear you without the headsets. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell was I don't know. That one I haven't figured out yet. But anyways.
Well,
I thought if I disconnect the headsets, I probably won't hear you. But
I can't figure out how to talk to people because I'll get myself booted out of the show again.
I did that too, though, when I was trying to fix the mic.
I tried.
Yeah, well, that's two whole different scenarios. One's got bad potty mouth and opinion. The other one's got headset problems. That's two different, completely different scenarios. Anyway, if you're just, We're going to be cutting out. Anyway, if you're just listening in and you're floating through YouTube and you're trying to find out what are these people about, we are a product of Studio 10 Broadcasting out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this is called the Dark Side Radio Network Project. And basically, we're going to be bringing a lot of the dark into the light. Join us as we open the vault. If you see this, it won't stay up long because this was just a test with some friendly conversation between friends. So I hope you'll join us and check us out into the future. I'm sure Facebook's seen it because I got comments. I was actually getting fake comments through Messenger, but we did get people come up, but not a bunch, but that's okay. We'll build the platform back up. We'll get out there strong, and we'll try to get the bring the influence of the Facebook friends to this side to help support and subscribe to the channel because, you know, the attacks are immense. And one of the reasons I really want to do it, and I want you girls to focus on this, there's not really a control mechanism by the foundation of Meta. It is now a narrative of a control system of the federal government for their benefit for whatever reasons. And we won't talk about what they are right here because in a lot of ways, this platform has a higher set of rules and ethics, and they will slam you down and shut you off instantly. So, you know, I've been through it. I could post pictures that once showed greatness. I can show pictures that once showed complete failure. And that's them with a flick of a switch. If they think to choose that you're not going to talk about something that they want to promote you for. So, you know, we're going to stick to the dark side and let the element of that present itself because there's a lot of information that will dwindle through the lines and you know, create intelligent, educational facts for people to pick on, to perceive.
Pick a topic because all my books are in this room with me, which is why I wanted to set it up in this room because all my books are here.
I'll you know, I'll gladly put you
Card
to the
table right behind me, you know.
Well, keep in mind, one of the elements that as we go forward too is story tells great. It can go on forever. To welcome phone calls in and get people online to get interactions of stories or, you know, their thoughts is going to be a sword welcome in a way because I'm looking forward to it because there's so many voices out there who probably will want to interact and share. So that's going to be, you know, part of.
I had one come to my door.
You have one at your door?
Yeah, she was trying to figure out how she wanted to come on and talk, so she came to my door. I'm like, no.
Well, she did come on. She's under Nancy
She did. She's under Nancy.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't figure out, and I couldn't figure out how to talk back to her, which was what I was trying to do when I kicked myself off. So she's in a message group. She's busy jabbering there with Dave.
Oh, she's still there?
She's not on with us. She's in the message group talking to Dave.
Mr. Glovin. Oh my God, that can't be good.
No, I kind of just watched it. I'm like, I'm going to go back to the show.
You know, I wanted to help Dave out in a big way and narrate him into some things, and he has just a total different approach on things, and I'm really trying to get into him to like say, brother, you know, let me help you in a good way. But I'll get to that part, and I'm not worried about it because when I put myself into a place of a format, I'm going to utilize it and I'm going to make it work. That's just who I am. And you know what? People are really been well responsive to me back through mail and stuff. When you can't keep up with it through a week, which was this week, that's a lot of positive, but there was a lot of negative in the mail. Just a lot of people's vibes are not good right now. That's the place we're in. So maybe this whole platform, even tonight that we talked about, if anybody gets it, picks up on it, they'll think about why they are where they are, and it'll help them a bit.
But this is why we have so much chaos in the world, because you think about it, like people talk about like the dark entities and seeing the shadow beings and where are they coming from. Some people are like, I didn't invite them in, you know what I mean? Like, I don't use this and I don't use that and I don't. How are they getting here? Well, I'll tell you. The more humanity keeps feeding the negative into your atmosphere, which is like the universe, okay? The more you keep
Hmm.
feeding that negative, the more that negative is spreading to us all, every one of us. So you could put out negative energy, and that energy could take form of its own, a life of its own, which is what it does. And it's going to go visit probably Tom or Jerry or somebody down the road, which it's going to come like knocking on my door and say,
Right.
I got an issue. I got this thing in my house. I don't know how I got it. I didn't do anything. It just kind of, you know what I mean? And I'm going to go, okay, well, I'm going to have to go return that to sender to somebody because, that's what it is. And then you're going to get karma because, whoops, you sent it out there. So people really need to take heed to their thoughts, to their words. I mean, just be positive and kind. you know if you don't agree with what anyone says, then don't respond at all to it. Just go somewhere else.
Yeah, I hear you. And that's what
Because
we're all
I
doing.
don't want to have to take down, another negative and return the sender, but if I have to, I will.
No, I get it. You're the cleansing. You're the maid of the drifters, the dark, the shadows,
Get out
the
now.
unknown entities.
Return
She
the sender. Get out.
she comes in her maid uniform and she cleans house with spiritual enlightenments and salts and black salts
Mhm.
and lavender
I
and
come with the
dragon blood
sage.
And
I come
and
sage.
with the
crystals in holy water made from salts
I
and
come
water
with a
blends.
travel bag. Okay, a travel bag
You can't even
full
get
of.
off the island. How you travel? You are in a hard spot right
And
now
I
with all
just
these
and,
man
and I
man
just
things.
do that little sweep, and I just do that little spray, and I just do that little, little song incantation. Goodbye, return to sender. I don't know where you came from, but you're going back. Goodbye. And then
Yeah.
somebody on the other end, whoever threw that negative energy out there, could have been 2 or 3 or 4 people that threw it out. But guess what? Now they're going to have a very bad day. And the person over here who got bombed by it, because they probably, just kind of happen to orbit in the same, whoops, right?
Yes.
Atmosphere, they're going to have a good day. Their house is going to smell all nice. And yep.
Well, you know what I would never want to be the person that's doing the spraying. Now imagine this, if you will, in Michael's world, where it's really deep. If you were spraying, trying to cleanse, and the form of a face came out in the spray as you were doing it, did you use a spray bottle? Could you imagine the formation of a face as you did it? Just the same as using that the laser grid that you can watch
Uh-huh.
anomalies walk through. The spirits actually cut the lights through that anomaly of the beams and the frequency of the light, which is pretty cool. But do it through a water bottle. And I think I actually saw that in a movie or something where the Invisible Man, maybe, where they sprayed him. And as they sprayed him, they could see where he stood. But they had to use tactics like that to understand where he was, how to take him on because he was so dangerous. And that's kind of the same kind of thing what you're doing because you
Mhm.
never know what you're dealing with. And the strength of and powers of some of these, I'll call them entities because we don't know what any of this stuff truly is. And until we get answers of what this stuff is, it's all paranormal. I don't care if it's Bigfoot, Mothman, until we get evidence across the board and start knocking off and get putting the check marks through and dotting I's on a lot of things, we're never going to know because we're still at the same point where we know it's there. We know there's an existence, but none of us can ever seem to be able to unequivocally prove it. We
Well,
can't.
I'll tell you the case that I'm in right now. Um, there's a person that she's connected to that is what we call a frenemy. A frenemy is a person who thinks that they manipulate you into believing that you're their friend, but you're not. They're jealous of you, they're resentment of you, and the only time they want to be around you is when they want something from you. So if they want money and you have it and you give it to them, that's great. But the moment you say no to them is the moment they get mad at you and then they get resentful, right?
Right.
That type of person. These people have demonic entities attached to them. Okay? They're toxic. Toxic picks up toxic. Negative energy is toxic. And it's carried into a person's home. And then they stay because they're like, oh, well, God, I got a free ride in here now. I'm just going to stay. And that's what we're dealing with. And like I told her, that's okay. I'll come cleanse. I'll come. I was supposed to go today, but it was storming. And that's another thing they can do too. Demons can cause, two of them that I know of, can cause like storms. Very, very bad. Especially if they know that me or somebody who does what I do, because I'm not the only person who does it. There's a few of us that do that. If we're coming to get them, and they know we're coming to get them, they'll create stink to stop it. Whether it be create a storm or give you a nightmare or cause havoc in your life, they'll do anything to stop you from going and ridding of them, like kicking them out. Like, you can't kill them, you just kick them the hell out. They're like bad roommates you don't want. You're evicted, get out. But you have to return to sender. So it goes back to the person who left it in your house to begin with, and let them face their, like, whatever it is they're running from, their own true selves, maybe. So, like I said, if they wake up with burns on them, because of my spray, because I hit their demons, or they're just having a really bad day, that's not my issue. You know what I mean? It's like, keep your demons out of the house, right? So.
Well, we're going to have to pick up on that more. I got to get to bed. Beth's got to get up by 6:30. It's been fun, but we got to say we're done. So, America, you got a little taste of some of the things we're going to talk about. Not all topics may be for you, whether you're from America or out and beyond, because our guest sitting in tonight, our friend Rosa, is actually out of Canada. So, this is going to be cool. We'll get more set up. The evening test went pretty well. They'll get to see our faces here as they have, and know that we are going to have open lines for you to call in on, share your stories and more as we sit down and open up the vault. So, ladies, it's been fun, but we're done.
Yes. Just have your phone try not to butt call me tomorrow, okay?
It does happen at times. And you know what? It was really strange because for the life of me, I'm looking around me and I'm like, is there someone around me? Because I was outside. And I'm hearing hello, and I'm like looking up the driveway, and I'm like, is someone up on the hill? Things happen. Weird things have happened like that. They come up and they shouldn't be on my property, but they do. And, people are blind to the no trespassing signs, especially if you're Joe
I go to bed to meditational music. I let my phone just go, you know what I mean, and play this meditational music, guy.
Oh, that's when I do my homework. I can't do that.
And it like these meditational pieces are like hours long, so it will go as like long as your phone will go. You know what I mean? Your phone will die before the friggin'. And sometimes it will just, if you get a short one, it will just switch through the library full of them. You know what I mean? So God knows what you could wake up to. I think I went to bed with destroy negative energy and woke up to angelic healing or something like that. It was a great experience anyway. But this morning, I'm not even sure what I woke up to, because I know I woke up to meditational music, but there was a call in the middle of it, and I'm like, who the fuck is calling me? So I grabbed the phone and I freaking answer it, and I'm like, hello? And there's nobody answering, and I'm looking at the name and I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay. I hang up. I look at the clock and I'm going, oh, well, I had to get up anyways. It was like 15 minutes before the alarm was about to go off. You know what I mean? And then
you lie so bad. You lie so bad. You said hello 100 times.
What called you?
Yeah, I didn't even realize it, and I something told me to be quite honest with you, to check the phone. But that was like 5 minutes later, and then I
Yeah.
realized what the hell I did because I don't want to bother someone, and you're behind my time, which means you're
I
in
was
bed
going to say,
later.
what's your time zone there? What time is it
Um,
there?
we're at 12:12 right now.
Yeah, so we're an hour difference.
Okay.
An hour difference. Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's all right because I mean my
Not too
daughter called
bad.
right after it.
Not too
So
bad.
like
It's not like he was calling you in California and there's an 8-hour difference.
oh my God.
3 hours.
I probably wouldn't even have answered it. I probably would have just let it go, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It was just I at first I thought it might have been my son because my son calls me by Facebook and I was like, okay, maybe my son's calling me. And I just grabbed the phone. I didn't even look. I just grabbed and answered. And I was like, hello? I wasn't sure who I was talking to, but nobody was answering. And I look at the name and I'm like, oh my God, Michael, what the heck? And I'm thinking, oh God, I hope he ain't asking me to go on a radio blog at this time in the morning. You know what I mean? And I'm just getting up, right? Anyway,
Yeah, right?
I hang up because I don't hear nothing. And then like later on, he's like texting me and he's like, I'm so sorry. My phone butt phoned you. And I'm like, it's so good. It's all good. It's all good.
butt dialed. In America, we call it butt dialing.
And butt dialing. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
'cause
butt
Beth
phone.
does it to me all the time. Good night.
It's all
Get
good.
some
Good night.
rest.
Yes. I'm going to go to sleep now. So
All right.
got to go to bed.
Peace out.
Good
It
night.
was